All right, so I'm calling this meeting to order at 4:34 p.m. on Monday, December 7th. We're streaming live and this is public. The public is allowed to comment at the beginning of the meeting as it relates to the agenda. I don't believe we have any members of the public. That seems accurate. All right, so let's dive in once I figure out how to screen share.
Nate should give you access to screen share. So there should be a little button at the bottom.
I do have a button at the bottom.
And it worked.
All right. Is it the full screen?
It is we can see your desktop in the background, but we can see the app
Perfect.
agenda.
Excellent. All right. Would you like me to read this out loud or are we good to just read it?
Yeah, we're good. We can see.
Wonderful. Let me know if you'd like me to scroll down at all.
We can see the whole thing.
Cool. And are we good to approve the agenda?
Oh, this is for today?
Yeah.
This is today's.
Oh, we don't need to approve it.
Yeah.
All right.
I have asked Nate to speak on the second to last bullet point.
All right.
So if we want to move that up or if we want to keep at the bottom, up to you, Casey.
Why don't we move that up? Why don't we start off with that?
Sure.
All right.
So that's our discussing the FATV membership and the TV show?
Yes.
Well, thank you for bumping me up on the agenda here. Yeah, honestly, thank you all for your time this evening and this opportunity to discuss the opportunities that are available through Fitchburg Access Television. As you know, we've been around for 34 years. I lose track of time before mine. But one of the things that we strive to do is provide access in a low stress environment for our residents and organizations and business community to come in, utilize the equipment that we have at this facility, and we really bolster the latest technologies available. We try to keep up and get the latest technologies, one of which we have a podcast studio that we were going to build and then this pandemic hit us. So we really haven't dove into that too much yet, but that could be a great opportunity for the council and some of its members to utilize. And
also potentially a grant application.
We actually have the equipment already, but there might be another proposal coming to you from a local school, actually two, I think, that are looking to upgrade their equipment that's available to the students. There's two different paths that you can take to become a member of FATV, one of which you can become an organizational member. The cost of that in a calendar year is $75. It can include up to 5 individuals that are registered under that organizational membership. And then individuals can come for $30 annually. It gets you access to, like I said, all the equipment. We give you training on how to use it from lighting to cameras to audio to editing to doing a live production in our studio using what we call the grid lighting up on a truss, and you've seen the studio. So like I said, we make it as easy as possible, but also fun as possible to create content. Now, depending upon which route you're thinking about taking, it could be as simple as informational meetings, kind of like what you're doing here, but in studio. And you can actually take visual aids, whether it be graphics on a computer or pictures that you bring in. You could do training classes on, painting. With Zoom, it's allowed us to really open up the doors and interview so many more different people that might not have access to getting to FATV at the studios. So that opens the door for so many different artists to come and collaborate virtually. There's, I don't know, what else could I talk about? We're definitely looking to really do more community outreach in trying to get people to access the great resources that FATV has available. But, this pandemic has really just put the brakes on everything. And, with all fingers crossed, we're hoping for a brighter 2021 future, just like everybody else. And that's a quick, brief overview. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions that I could address. Yes, Tamar?
So once we have the membership, could we potentially like book a time that the council could be on, sort of as we do for our meetings, but maybe how does it work when you say like
So,
how could we actually, once we have the membership, outside of doing like trainings, learning how to use your tools, how could we do like some sort of a
Weekly show
yeah,
or monthly show.
or how does it work? How do you book time?
all right. So first thing first, you get the paperwork out of the way. You would come in and we would train you on how to produce your own programming. It's not as daunting as you think it might be. There's a staff member that's always available when we're open for business hours, and we would be there to assist and facilitate a live meeting or even a pre-recorded show. We would want you to do as much as you can. That's what we're here to do, is to train you to create your own content for the community. But once you get training, then, we have an online portal that you can book your classes on. You can book your reservation time for editing or studio time. That's how we kind of do the process. You reserve it. Right now, we're very limited on, how much we're bringing into the studio. It's like 2, maybe 3 guests at most. Obviously, you need a couple of production personnel as well. But we would definitely not like all of a sudden say, all right, here you go make a show. We definitely want to help nurture you and make you feel comfortable so that it's as easy as possible to reach your viewers.
So
Does
if we
that
did,
help?
if we did have a show, would we have like a time slot?
So depending upon what time you're looking for, because we already have programming that currently runs, you would work with our event coordinator. I shouldn't say event coordinator, our station manager, Ann Bisbee, and she will go through what we have already. Like I can tell you tonight at 7 p.m. is Chess Chat. It's been a long-standing show at FATV with Mr. Mariginian. And there's other shows. Barbers on 7 p.m. Tuesdays, Discussing and Inside Fitchburg is Wednesdays at 7. So there's different times that are locked in, but work with Ann and she'd be happy to find a time that's convenient. And depending upon the content of the programming, if you do an educational spin to it, we could then look to the educational channel, which would open up some more time slot availability. I'd like to utilize all 3 of our channels to the best of our ability. And if it's definitely educational, which I bet you got content that fits right up that alley, maybe that's the direction you guys take.
What are the 3 channels?
So FATV runs the PEG channels, which is public, education, and government. Comcast, it's channels 8, 9, and 99. Verizon is 35, 36, 37. All of our channels are live streamed on our website. And we are in the middle of contract negotiations with Comcast. But once we hopefully sign, and this is, groundbreaking, I could say, we'll be looking to start a high definition channel for the city so that we can keep up with the technology and times. We're broadcasting in HD online, but our channels are compressed and only deliver SD quality as of now. So exciting.
That's pretty exciting.
Very cool.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matt. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
It happened to me already today too. Don't be
I'm
ashamed.
sorry.
I get nicked too.
Well, I know, Nate, you also have a robust on-demand system too. So
Say that one more time, please.
I know you have a lot of on-demand offerings as well. So that's something else we could consider for our usage. We could post it as a link to an on-demand thing anytime we wanted to have it out there.
Yes. So, the on-demand server has, a cap on space, but, we could put it on there for a duration of time.
Okay.
And then, we could move it to like a YouTube channel or direct people to other avenues to digest that content, but yeah, the on-demand is very robust and contains a lot. It's pretty easy to navigate, and definitely another resource that we offer here at FATV.
Yeah.
Nate,
Yes, Stephen.
I've been retired for 15 years. So prior to that, I took that video class at FATV, teacher. And we had to do a project at the end. So we were videotaping all the historic places in and around Fitchburg. On New Year's Day, we did this.
Oh, wow.
And so my name is Claudia and my partner's name was Maureen. So I decided we needed a production name. So we called ourselves the Chlorine Production Company. It's a mishmash of the two names, but it sounds like chlorine bleach. That's what it sounds like. And that's we wanted to make it sound like something that people would actually remember because it was so kind of odd and crazy. And then I went back to my classroom and I taught my classroom kids how to run the projector. And we had them doing, short videotapes like I'd call on one child and say, and I'd put the US map down and ask if anybody wanted to do a weather report. So I'd get a volunteer and I'd give her the pointer and another child would do the video and they were pretending to broadcast the weather. So that was rudimentary years ago, but I had fun with it.
And that's the main goal, right? We want to have fun with what we do. And with arts and culture, creativity is the limit, right? And there are so many different programs that you can look into doing. But like I said, it all depends on what you're looking to do, but there's so many opportunities, and with technology, you can integrate it all together to put out one final product. So, we hope that the Cultural Council will consider becoming a member officially. We're always happy to help you, as you know. But I would love to, train you guys on how to use the tools of broadcast media and see how it could align with your mission.
Thank
Beautiful.
you, Nate.
I do have one more question for you, Nate.
Of course.
You said that, I'm assuming this is because of COVID, it's about 2 to 3 people in the studio at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yes.
with personnel or without personnel?
Without. So
Without.
we can fit 3 people on the set with 6-foot distancing. And so that's kind of how we've been operating during these restricted times. And then you would have probably 1 camera personnel that is 12 feet away from those 3 guests, and then 1 or 2 people in the control room. Again, there's some spacing that we can utilize in there to keep everyone safe.
All right. Are there any other changes you guys have made recently for COVID precautions?
We obviously have masks worn at all times. We wipe down everything from the pan handles that you touch on the camera to the keyboards and the mouse for editing. We're very precautious and taking this very seriously to ensure everybody's safety. We're not open to the public in the sense that you can just walk in. We require reservations to come so that we're not stacked up with members in our facilities. We track everybody who's coming in. So in the event we need to do close contact, we can call those numbers and inform them of the situation. Those are some of the key points that we do. There's some others, I'm sure, that would be boring to hear about. But
Well, I appreciate it.
yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Hopefully when things return to some sense of normalcy, you can have, 12 people on the set all stacked up together looking at a painting, or the other part is you could do live call-ins too. And that could be another resource that you use in a live show. But like I said, the possibilities are endless. You have my contact information, and feel free to call the station as well if you have any more questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nate.
Thanks. I will head to the background now.
Thank you very much.
Tamar, did you want to discuss any more about having a TV show and stuff?
Yeah, I had some ideas for next year, which would include all of us. So I was sort of thinking if we had monthly programming, which might be easier for us to manage than anything else.
Oh, definitely.
It could go in line with like a PR schedule. So, this month is finishing up the grant cycle. January would sort of be getting ready to announce the grant cycle. February would be announcing and supporting anybody who's got programming coming up that next year. March would be probably announcing Fitchburg Open Studios and what we're going to do about that. We could probably do like a meet and greet in April, and probably April would be, announcing that. So I figured if we worked out a schedule for the year and make sure we don't miss any of our deadlines that we kind of were all learning about this year and pretty much missed very accidentally, council priorities and these things, which we didn't, we're all learning, and we had this big shift in people as well. So I thought if we make a year plan for 2021, then we could align our PR schedule with our FATV schedule, and then bring in maybe we have like whatever the time slot is that we can get, we could bring on an artist or a musician or an institution each time and do like a little bit of an interview with a PR pitch for ourselves with, updates and news. And that could go along with whatever else we're sending out to the public. So that's kind of the idea that I had. I'm happy to help Casey with a 2021 schedule if that would be helpful.
That would be very helpful.
But that's the idea that I had, if anybody has any thoughts.
Sounds good.
I think when COVID is over and we're able to have like more in-person events, I think it would be really cool if we used the camera and taped the event, or things like that. And so we could do highlights of the events that we granted.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
a show and tell, or, we could have people that have events coming up or have had events come on and talk to us about them, show things. I don't know. We'll have to learn. I don't know how that works. Like, could we get things out live in the public, or could we? So those are things I'd like to learn how that could happen. Or would it be a situation where maybe now we're on Zoom and we ask someone to join us and interview them? Or in the future, we go in and then have that person or organization or musician come in and actually do a little pitch for themselves and a little interview with us too. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Like, I don't know how that would work now, but I think in the future, if we start, actually in a way, it's to our advantage the way things are right now, because we can start small and work on getting a schedule and getting in a routine. And then when we get open up again, then we could maybe have a little more aggressive of a plan with how we promote people. So those are my thoughts.
My
Maybe-
one concern about having a TV show is that developing a TV show is a lot of work, and we're all volunteers. And I feel like it would be another subcommittee, unless we made it like really simple.
I think it should be really simple. So I think it would be introduction, welcome to whatever. And then this is sort of like Sam does. She's really quick and to the point. And, when she interviews you, she's got her details down. She's very on the ball with the details. And she goes through, she asks some questions, and then you're kind of done. Like, it's actually sort of like the radio, which I can talk about that because that's the next thing on the agenda too. They're very fast. They interview you, it's pretty quick. So I was thinking if we did something small, so it's not like a full hour program, it's maybe 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes max. And it would be like, welcome to the Fitchburg Cultural Council. And then our announcements are, and this month we're spotlighting X because they've got X coming up. And then, by the way, the council has X meeting is the next meeting and you should attend, and we're looking for volunteers and here's how you could help us. And then we're done. Like, so it's not like a massive production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Sort of like how,
It's like live editing that we don't have to like worry so much about post.
yes. Yeah. That's kind of maybe later. I don't know. But for now, I thought, I love the way Sam dealt with us, Audrey. And I like the way the radio guys deal with us. It's pretty quick, but they get the details and the public gets the details, and then you're kind of done. But
Good point.
It does sound
Claudia,
like a
it
great
sounded like
idea.
you were gonna say something. Claudia?
Oh. I don't know, it's gone now.
Oh, sorry.
back, Claudia.
A comment. Random comment.
Well, you have experience with this, Claudia. If you were on the TV back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I confess that I almost didn't say anything, but I had to, I like my stories told. I'm just not sitting around doing nothing all day. But it was fun, but the equipment is so much more sophisticated that it would be like, I would have to learn that new equipment all over again.
That's okay. That's why we'll be trained.
Well, we'll see about that. I don't know. But
And it does sound like FATV is very hands-on with
Oh, yeah.
assistance.
And back then, they did the editing for the final product, not us. And I have a funny feeling that if you're going to film, they're gonna want to bring you all the way through to fruition on your editing skills. I'm just guessing that, but it was much easier to just give them the raw footage and have them do it. But they'll probably want us to do it.
I think you're right, Claudia, but I think, thinking of the production cycle that Tamar is describing, where, say, if you were the guest, if you were the artist, we would talk in advance. We'd think through, I'm going to ask you these 5 questions, make sure you cover these 8 points in the course of it. It would be really, if not rehearsed, at least it would be really plotted out. This wouldn't be like a 60 minutes kind of a gotcha thing of,
Right,
it would be a very orchestrated kind of thing, Which is
No
fine,
Saturday.
which I think is appropriate in this, absolutely appropriate in this kind of context.
Yeah. Well, I did have an awful lot of fun with my students and doing it. But, back then, in the early stages of the development of the home movies, if you want to call it that, those cameras, even on the tripod, were huge.
Oh, yeah.
And now the newer equipment is so much lighter and easier to handle. That's all I'll say about that.
It could make you like Barbara, Claudia. The Barbara shit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine.
Need a Chlorine Productions logo to put at the end of the show.
Yeah, really.
And you'll need a megaphone and a beret and the whole thing.
Exactly.
Barking at people from off camera.
Yes. All of that and more.
Nice. I'm
Mm.
excited now.
I'm terrified now.
Well, I mean, it sounds like some great opportunities though.
Yes,
It does. It does.
absolutely.
All right. Moving forward, does anyone have any further comments on the FATV matter? Excellent. Tamar, would you like to walk us through WPKZ radio spot?
Yeah, so I'm going on tomorrow at 8:10, between 8:10 a.m. and 8:25, and then again on Wednesday at 1:35 p.m. with them. They wanted to get it in 2 different slots for different listeners. So I asked Claudia to listen in. So next time, maybe it could be Claudia. And we can that way get maybe more regular, and we'll see. She's going to listen in though. So see what they ask and how it goes. And then my thought was after tomorrow to follow up with them and ask if we could get on once a month with them. And we'll do the same thing. Whatever it is we're announcing, we'll just get on once a month and announce whatever we have to talk about. Sort of like the same monthly routine, so that everything goes everywhere. So that's what I have to say about that. So I'll let you know in the next, in our meeting next week, how that goes.
Excellent.
So
Thank
it's
you.
it's on Tuesday at 8:10 a.m. and Wednesday at 1:35 p.m.
Yeah, he said tomorrow it's between 8:10 and 8:25. So he told me just to be ready during that time they would call.
All right, I'll add that.
And then Wednesday is actually 1:35.
1:35. Okay.
So can I ask, is the thinking that, I know we're going to be meeting this subcommittee the first Monday of the month. Is this the time you think once we have the grant cycle is in place and we know what the programming is, like, would this be the forum where we would sort of figure out, here's what we want to talk about on PKZ, here's what we want to talk about on Claudia's Chlorine TV show?
No.
Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself, Claudia. I'm sorry. I withdraw that comment here. But this would be where we would sort of hash out those kind of details. Okay.
Yeah, like tomorrow's is just going to be, we're in the grant cycle. It got moved ahead. You've got until next week, get your applications in.
Mhm.
So that's tomorrow. But then for the next month, which would be January, our next meeting, we would decide, okay, do we have our grantees ready, list ready? And is Claudia going to be able to get on the radio with that list, or what's the next schedule? Yeah, so we'll decide at the next meeting what that next slot would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
All right.
Can I ask a question about the time? Did WPKZ say how long you're going to be on the air?
yeah, it's not very long. They literally ask you, like, it's maybe, like, in all the time I've ever done the radio slots, they schedule you for like 15 minutes, but it's never 15 minutes because they go to do weather and traffic, and then they come back and ask you a few more questions, and they call you like 5 minutes before they're going to bring you on so that you can get ready, and they try your sound and all that. So you schedule about 15 minutes, but it's never really a full 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's
Good
pretty
to
quick.
know. Good to know.
Yeah, you'll see. It's really fast.
Thanks.
All right. The status on Facebook page admins and Facebook group admins.
Well, we got Casey.
Did you get
Yes.
her on?
Yes.
I had to do it a really weird way. Yeah, I had to use like the business suite, like the same area where I manage my ads, and went to the Fitchburg Cultural Council one and made Casey an admin through there. It's very weird though, because it doesn't have the same people on there. Like Co was still on there, and I had to like remove Co because it's been a while. And current, like Tamar, you're not an admin through there right now, which I can change.
Which is why I couldn't add Casey.
No,
But
this
you
was
are an
like about,
admin.
like,
Not in the business section, I'm not.
yeah, but I couldn't either, so that wasn't the reason why.
Yeah, I had to do some like back end changes on my profile's visibility that I can give you guys the link to the article that I found that ended up working, or which had the steps that ended up working, but it's tedious
Yeah.
and
And Matt,
vaguely nonsensical.
Matt, I was able to add you, but you just have to accept it. And Claudia, I didn't find you on Facebook, so I wasn't able to even
All
pull
right,
up
That's
account.
because I'm not on Facebook.
Oh, well, there you go.
On radio and TV.
There you go. Yeah.
And what about Jesse?
I think I'll try to do Jesse's the same way how I did Casey's.
Bravo, that's great news. That's great news.
Would be nice to have our PR chair as an admin, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to send Jesse that article that I found that has the steps in it. And anyone else who wants it. Does anyone else want it?
I would like
Yes.
it, please.
Yeah, I'd like to see what it is.
You got it.
Oh, before I forget, Matt mentioned our regularly scheduled meetings. Nate said that on Mondays, the first and third Mondays, there is another meeting that comes up right after us. So we have a hard out on the first Mondays at 5:45 p.m.
Okay.
So that gives us like an hour and 15 if we wanted that grace period in case we have meetings that are longer. I don't know if we want to reconsider first Mondays and switch to a second or fourth or what, but yeah.
I think that should be fine.
Yeah, I like the beginning of the month because we have more time then for the rest of the month.
Mm.
Yeah. I would say either like first month or a first Monday or fourth Monday.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. And how is the online form post request
I-
form?
I will send you folks what I have come up with thus far. Right now, it's just a Word doc that's based on my online survey, but that's a Fitchburg State survey product, so I don't think we can use it. I could look into what online forms are available, but it
Is
would,
that
it would get
through
the
Sorry, is that through
select survey is
G
what we use on campus,
Suite? Okay, all right.
which I don't know if that's free or not. Because,
What are
I
you
don't
asking?
believe so. I know G Suite. I'm wondering if the software that you guys use on campus has like an export option for G Suite. So if you can make it using the software that you already know how to use and export it to G Suite forms so that they're accessible for everyone, that might be an option.
all right, I'll look into that, yeah, because what's nice about that is when somebody submits a request for publicity on campus, it triggers an email to me and I have all the fields filled out. So basically I'm replicating those same sort of fields. And so is it okay, or does it count as deliberations? Could I just email this 5 people the Word doc? Is that okay, or is that
We just can't express interest, express opinion.
okay?
We have to do that at our meetings.
But anyways, like, we
So maybe
can't
like-
vote during this meeting anyway, so I guess maybe that could be added to the agenda for the regular meeting coming
Okay.
up.
So between now and then I will, well, I could just send it to Casey maybe as who's chair, Casey, you're chair of this subcommittee, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can
I
you
could
can send it to all of us, we just can't express opinion about
Okay,
it.
okay.
Just radio silence.
Yeah. That's right. We want to do this right. Okay, so I'll send you that, and then if you think if you can convey back to me through the right channels, maybe next week at our regular meeting. And between now and then, hopefully I can find out if there's a way to digitize it so that it's an online form, which is even easier. That way it's less for the user to delete something or not include something.
We can make it a Google form.
Oh, that's true. Google Forms work.
The downside
Sorry,
with
that's what-
Google form is that they can't submit, I don't think they can submit images.
Oh.
Like, I don't think they can like attach anything to it, so we would have like ask in a separate email, like for them to send us a photo.
Well, that was one of the things I have in the doc, which you haven't seen yet, is the idea that they, title a photo something that would make sense that it's part of this and email it to the Gmail account so we would know
Mhm.
that, okay, that must go with this person's request. But in the spirit of what we were talking about with the TV show or whatever, yeah, to have all these assets in place would be great. So we could, even if the artist isn't available to talk about something on the FATV show, we could at least show a picture of it or if there's a poster for it. So.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I
All right.
almost wonder if it would be, I don't know how many things we want to have included in the form. I wonder if it would just be easier to respond to people, just say like project title, like, or like headline, caption, attach photo.
Yeah.
And like, just like in like, compose the email, like reply, like just fill in this information for us.
Yeah, so that's what it is right now is, name of the artist, contact information for the artist. Can we submit this to media outlets? What are you asking us to do? Is it a press release or is it for a social media post? Describe your exhibit / performance. When and where will it take place? Is there an admission charge? Is it open to the public? Provide us with a couple of sentences as the artist about your work. So basically, it's mainly trying to just get them through the logic of this is what you need to be doing if you're trying to promote this work. If there's a website related to it, and then asking them to upload any photos and captions. So spoiler alert, that's pretty much what it's getting into.
That's pretty comprehensive.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's mainly about the logic, and it's good for them just to be thinking about how, why should people be interested in this, and it makes them do a little bit of the lifting. And of course, in our case, we're fortunate too, in that they've already done some of this in the course of applying for support. They've had to think about it and think about audiences and venues. So, all
Cool.
right, but yeah, but I'll see if I can convert this. I'm sure I can convert it to a Google form. Right now, it's just a Word doc, but
That's great.
That's
anything is
awesome.
possible with technology. Just ask Claudia.
I do
Just
look
ask
forward to
Claudia.
seeing
It sounds like a
That's it.
newspaper
Segment.
column.
That's another chlorine production, I think. Just ask Claudia. You're
Oh,
gonna have a media.
oh my
You're gonna be
gosh.
like William Randolph Hearst over here, Claudia.
Oh,
We're gonna have an empire for you.
can I just take
Love
that
it.
right back?
All right.
I like that. I like the catchphrase. Just ask Claudia.
Just ask
Yeah.
Claudia.
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Let's see. Social media calendar. Did everyone receive an email to join the social media calendar on Google?
Yep, and I forgot about it
That's all right.
until you mentioned it. Yep.
Matt and
I-
Claudia, have you seen those emails yet?
I don't think,
Let me do it. I know I got the emails for this. So let me.
Be a calendar invite for FCCPR calendar.
Yeah, I remember that.
I actually need to update it with the posts that I have scheduled. But of course, I also started doing it at like 4 o'clock, so that's why.
In the morning?
No, like as in like an hour ago.
Oh.
Like, but I have it scheduled so that we can approve said posts, and I can just kind of share screen of the post.
Can I, Casey, raise my
Yes.
hand? I'm raising my hand.
Raise your hand. Yes.
Um,
Tamar.
In the announcements section, Claudia, not to put you on the spot, but Claudia has taken care of a few things.
That's true.
Thought you should mention that, Claudia, what you did for us.
I have, today, I spent the afternoon delivering the update on the deadlines from this, what is the 7th to the 14th of December, to make all of the teachers from the all of the art teachers, all the way through the whole school system, aware of the beginning and the end of that deadline. So I just wanted to get it, I wanted them to get it today because, you know, time marches on. So they've all been delivered to their department, their art departments all over the city. I am going to contact Applewild as well. I know it's a private school, but these are state funds, and they should be invited to participate, just like all the other schools. Sizer as well. So that's where I was spending the days. So I've put 18 out into their hands. And then I'm still working on Sizer and Applewild. So
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you.
welcome.
Did we have any updates on approving future posts
Yeah.
for the calendar? No.
I do. Second. Okay.
I don't have anything for this section. Sorry, Casey.
That's okay.
I wish this was faster. Are you guys seeing the post or is it still stuck on the previous page?
We are seeing the post.
So, oh wait, nope, this one was already posted, so I just wasted that. Deadline is in 1 week, guys. They're basically just countdowns. Oh, there we go. That makes things easier.
Nice. Okay. Is that link clickable in the graphic?
It should be.
Okay.
This is one of those like Facebook posts where you write out the text and then choose a background color.
Got it.
And then for Instagram, I just screenshot that whole thing and made that the image. And then included
Perfect.
other text, which I'll show after I'm done with the Facebook ones.
Excellent.
So that's 3 days left. That will be on December 12th. Which is, what day is that? I don't even know, but at 9 a.m. Saturday, I believe.
Excellent. That looks great.
Discord. Two days left, December 13th, 9 a.m.
These are great.
And then repost. Tonight is the deadline.
Fire, fire.
Do it now.
I love
Looks
it.
good.
And then on Instagram, I think I pretty much kept the same text except for maybe the last one, but that's the caption.
Do we have a link tree on our Instagram?
We do.
Okay, cool.
Manuela set it up. So I don't know if it's, has the updated links. Some of the things I'm not sure why those links were selected for the link tree. But yeah, we can look at that afterwards.
All right.
Let's see here. I think the last one is the only one that is different other than updating the time. And I think it's just like the first sentence that's different.
Those are great.
Nice. Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, do you want me to share the link tree? Share
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that would be great. Sorry.
No, that's okay. This is what we have. Traditional arts apprenticeship, MCC.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this looks like it just might need to be updated a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Were you guys done with it or not?
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's good. It's good.
So I can look at updating that, Audrey, unless you want to.
Go for it.
Cool.
You do you, girl.
Thanks. All right, and the last thing on the agenda for tonight is potentially assigning and setting up new social media platforms, which we did talk about briefly last meeting. Does anyone have any specific input on this?
The only one that I think is relevant from a PR perspective is Twitter, but and I'm happy to help with that. Otherwise,
Excellent.
otherwise, I'm a little worried about some of the platforms where video is more important because we're not really producing video yet. When we do, it might be a different story, but unless we're asking for our community to produce video and then we share it, but that, I don't know. So that's kind of where I am at with this one.
Yeah, that's fair. I know we talked about YouTube a little bit last time. And I think at this point it would just be recordings of the meetings, which I think is fine, but I don't know if we want to dedicate a YouTube just to that.
Especially when they're already, like, we're part of the city, so they're already on the city's website.
That's fair too. Yep. Good point.
Or rather FATV, I should say, like under the government section.
On FATV. All right. And something else we had talked about briefly last time was setting up a specific FCC PR email account. What do you guys think about that? I'm not sure how that would happen. Is it like, is that something through Gmail that we would have to do as like an offshoot of our standard email account? Would the two be connected somehow? I'm telling you, I don't know how to use Gmail. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't either. I hate Gmail, but it's okay.
I mean, we don't have to, it doesn't have to be Gmail. It doesn't have to be a Gmail account. But yeah, it would be a separate email. I'm guessing the concept is that we want to have a second inbox.
Mm-hmm.
We can set it up so that we can reply as either like our regular email address or the other email address, and we can do that with any inbox. But yeah, it would be setting up a new inbox, and yeah.
So my proposal is, instead of doing that, what if we set up a PR, I think it's just called a label, or like a subfolder inside the FCC email for PR related emails to go directly into? Would that make sense?
I think that the concept is that we want certain people to always get those emails, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just means like everyone having access to that email, or like always like, making sure to forward to the appropriate people, like, so like an email came in, respond to it. Yeah.
Audrey, you're the Gmail queen that's kind of set all this up. What do you suggest? Honestly.
I mean, okay, who would be that ones that are like organizing this?
So
Like in terms of like wanting access to receive those emails. It would be you, Casey, right?
Yeah, I would say it would probably be me and Matt and maybe Tamar.
Yeah, because if we're gonna do like monthly roundup press releases of here's what's coming up,
Mhm.
that would be, and that'd be a logical place for these requests for PR support to go to. If we could figure out a way to have that be automated so that it would automatically populate with a subject line that would mean something to us, that, okay, here's somebody who's, I'd hate for someone to submit with some innocuous subject line and we didn't realize, oh, they were looking for our help. We could have, now we'll know what we've funded, but I know we've talked about broadening our horizons a little bit so we can be more inclusive, which I think is the right way to go.
Well, so we could either give Matt access to our inbox and label it as you mentioned, but then either all three of those people have to be like watching the inbox for those potential emails, like have alerts set up, but you'll also get other emails as well. Or yeah, just set up a whole nother inbox, which could be a Gmail email, or it could be like any like one that you guys are more familiar with or more comfortable with.
Okay.
So Matt and Casey, what do you guys want? What would you prefer?
Well, as far as email goes, I am most comfortable with Gmail. I guess when I said I don't know how to use Gmail, it really applies to, I'm not sure about like the finer workings of the like filtering of emails through Gmail. Like I know how to use Outlook circa like 2015 maybe for that specific stuff.
Mhm.
But just never really had to for Gmail. I'm sure it's vaguely intuitive though, so I can learn.
Yeah, we
Um,
just migrated to Gmail at work
yeah.
here a few months ago. So like you, Casey, I'm not fluent in it. I mean, I use it hours a day. So in that sense, I'm fluent in it, but I'm not like nuanced in it.
Mhm,
I know how to
mhm.
find my stuff.
And then a concern that I do have is emails that should be going to PR being sent to the regular FCC email, or emails that should be going to the FCC email going to PR. And how are we going to decide which emails go to what? Is it worth asking people? Like, I guess my big question is it worth setting up a PR email if a lot of the stuff that we're getting, the FCC email should be CC'd on regardless?
Mhm.
My thought process is if we got an email saying like, hey, we have an event coming up, I'll just be like, email, like, I would just like send it to the other email address.
Okay. Tamar?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, when it comes to Matt, like sending out the press release, he's gonna, whenever or whoever's doing that, you sit down and you send out like 20 or 30 at once. And then you're gonna get an auto ping back from some people. You're gonna get like, there's just gonna be like a stretch where there's a lot of like back and forth, or there might be a publication or someone that goes, actually, yeah, that's great. We'd love to cover that. And then there's a back and forth that happens. So in a way, it would make sense for it to be in its own place. And then it would be our job on the other email account to educate everyone, maybe in our signatures even, that says for press, for promotion, for assistance with your PR, send your
Mhm.
stuff here. And then we sort of start pointing people to the other address. So in a way, it makes sense to have a secondary address, provided we keep really good credentials on it, so that going into the future with the next generation of council members, there's no loss of, it doesn't get lost.
Mhm.
Well, on that note, like, talking about sending out press releases and newsletters, Gmail won't, free email accounts, whether it's Gmail or Yahoo or I can't even, a Hotmail, you're not like allowed to send out like more than like 20 emails that are the same thing or something like that. Like, it's, however, we could decide to buy a domain, whether we want to create a whole website or not, but we could create a like at fitchburgculturalcouncil.com, and then we could have our newsletter at and info at and PR at. So those are things to consider when we are talking about creating another email address. Because
Okay.
then we can actually like get a MailChimp and send out newsletters to like hundreds and hundreds of people.
So that's
All
something
right.
we have to like vote on, because it would cost some money.
Mhm.
We'd have to vote on that next time.
Audrey, would you be able to put together a budget for that?
Has anyone else like purchased domains? Like I have my like web person do like for my websites, so I don't really like know how to do it myself.
Yeah, there's a couple of steps. We'd have to have a domain. We have to have it hosted. There's a lot of that. I do that all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you put together a budget for that?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Own Fitchburg. Oh, so we don't officially own it because I haven't invoiced the council yet. And we have to vote on that. But the Fitchburg Open Studios is a domain, does have email, does have Gmail, does have MailChimp. It's already all set up. So that's one thing the council has for next year.
Nice.
So this would be, do we want another one? Or do we want to play? I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. So I can put something together for the next meeting about that. But I know, Audrey,
Beautiful.
I would say just from sending out mass emails, every email would be, and I could ask, maybe this is a different question for you, Matt. Every email would be slightly different. It wouldn't be exactly the same because each, like sending something to the Worcester Business Journal isn't going to be the same as sending it to, I don't know, trying to think of something off the top of my head, as FATV or the city, or, you know, I don't know. Each organization should have a slightly different twist on the introductory sentence. I
But
could be-
even still, like Gmail kind of like senses like, oh, this is like practically the same email. Like, is that spam? Are they spamming people? It was a huge like headache, like try sending out like emails to tell people about our event in October. Like a ton of them would like just get sent back. So if we stick with the free emails, at least like we could divide the list between two of our Fitchburg Cultural Council emails, but still.
Okay.
All right. So I guess, is it worth, in the meantime, do you guys think, is it worth me setting up a PR email address while we wait to figure out the domain and hosting information?
I feel like that it would be confusing because then if we like tell people to email that one and then suddenly change it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because yeah, in that spirit, when are we realistically looking at promoting? I mean, obviously, the events as such are still in a weird flux right now. So,
Yeah,
so we might have a
we're
few
getting a lot
months
of
to
those.
figure. We got a few months to figure this out, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one would be for the grantees, announcing the grantees.
Yeah.
All right. And I think that just about wraps up our meeting for today. Does anyone have anything to add? All right. I like this little dance. And as my sea legs are still sea legs, is there a special like adjournment
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen that I have to do?
Like an incantation.
Ending the
There's a
meeting.
dance. There's a small dance, and there's
Okay.
an amulet. Did you get the amulet, Casey?
I didn't get the amulet.
All right. We'll get
I
that
know that
next
we
time.
always like at the end of our group meetings, we, someone has to vote to
Adjourn.
We do
adjourn,
have to vote to
but
the
we don't
motion.
have like a quorum, so I don't know if we're not supposed to vote during these things. So.
Then I guess I will see you lovely people later. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
I think we should adjourn the meeting formally though at a time.
I formally adjourn this meeting at 5:37 p.m. on Monday, December 7th.